a very fun video to make. So
Absolutely. Well, it has to be somewhat scientific, right? It can't just be I
yeah.
like Jupiter because it's pretty.
I like
I mean, there's
Jupiter
nothing
because it
wrong with
makes me
that.
look like a great astrophotographer.
There you go. There you go. But yeah, we could do it science-based, like number of moons or Io being volcanic or
I think
Neptune
number of
and
moons would be too boring, but
yeah,
I
that'd be
do
too
think
boring. I agree. I
yeah,
agree.
but I think I like in general how much we like the planet based on scientific stuff, like how interesting it is. I think that could be
Oh
a
yeah.
one of the most interesting planets. That would be a pretty fun one.
Well, we could kick that off right now. Off the top of your head, what is your favorite planet?
Ooh, oh my God, Planet Fitness. We gotta go. The
Oh,
OG.
that's
Sorry. Oh,
just.
sorry.
This is where people turn off the video.
Yeah, I know. I had the sharp drop in the YouTube analytics. Um, either that or at Impactor.
That's right.
All
Oh, if
right.
those jokes continue, I wouldn't buy my own impactor right now.
I think I'd have to say Saturn. I
Oh
have
yeah,
this like I think it's so beautiful. The ring system is so fantastic. It's such a
yeah.
dynamic system, um, and has so many open questions. And I always like it's always so wild taking pictures of it. I think I'd have to go with Saturn. I think I think it does have a lot of wins in the interest department as well. Like the moons are really cool. You've got Enceladus, which is like our best, potentially our best chance of finding life in the solar system. And it's got the fantastic ring system, the polar hexagon, the rings, and it's got these incredibly interesting questions that we try to answer about the structure of its atmosphere, and it's got its rings, and also the rings.
I think you've mentioned rings about 12 times. It's not the only planet with rings, by the way.
I know, but I mean, yeah, but you can't. Oh, what's Jupiter gonna do? It's little sissy ring system. Like, I want
Piddly
the
rings.
big boy rings on Saturn.
Yeah, they're pretty juicy. I'm going to give you that one. Yeah. Yeah.
What about you though? Like, what would you be? What would your favorite planet be?
Well, it's a toss up for me between Dagobah and Tatooine. Uh,
Because of the rings, right?
because of the rings, right? Yeah. Um, yeah. I never did enjoy Coruscant very much. I don't know. I mean, obviously, if we have to exclude the Earth because Earth is pretty interesting from all the various things we know about, right? But
Yeah,
I've always
I
loved.
think saying my favorite planet's the Earth would be kind of I'm gonna forbid that one.
Yeah, we have to forbid that one. Yeah, we have to exclude the Earth, obviously. But I have always loved. I agree with you with Saturn. I think Saturn's just phenomenal. The ring system, the shepherding moons, Enceladus, as you said, with its sort of potential water geysers. I've always loved Neptune. Always.
Oh,
I
that
know the
would be my
blue
number
color is
two.
it's just gorgeous. I mean, the blue color has recently been downgraded to a sort of greenish color, but it's all that methane, capturing the cutting out the infrared as it's always absorbing all that infrared. The massive storm on it, similar to Jupiter's Great Red Spot. It does have a ring system. Occasionally, it goes outside of Pluto's orbit. There's just a whole bunch to love about Neptune. But
I'm the whole thing about the color getting downgraded, which the color of those pictures was one of my like I loved how
that
crazy it
deep
looked,
blue,
and now it
yeah.
turns out it looks more like Uranus, um, a brown with some stripes. Sorry, but maybe we should edit out
Well,
that one.
yeah,
um,
it turned out that it was image enhancement, so that that great storm looked more,
yeah.
like popping, like the contrast of the storm. But
So,
it's
but
still,
like
I mean, it's still,
but the thing is that like if you look at the images, like the new Neptune, they when they show the new color, like you said, they downgraded it quite a bit. And here we go. It looks basically very Neptune like. Sorry, very Uranus like. And something that
yeah,
was
which
really wild
makes sense
was
giving its competition.
it does, yeah. But one of the things that was I thought was really wild was when I made my first images of Neptune, I actually observed this as well, that it looked exactly like my images of Uranus. But when you crank up the saturation on Uranus, it stays roughly the same color. If you crank up the saturation on Neptune, it turns into spectacular blue. And I
Yeah.
assumed it was because of my optics that like I wasn't able to get sufficient dynamic range or sufficient contrast or something to produce the color without processing it afterwards. And bumping up the saturation is not the craziest astrophotography post-processing thing that's ever been done. And so I didn't mind it. But I couldn't believe it when I saw like 2 months later that somebody did effectively this and then wrote a paper and was like, actually, Uranus is not blue,
Hmm.
or rather,
Yep.
Uranus is not blue. And I think it'd be a really fun video to like put this to the test and say like, you know, um, what's the real color of Uranus? And we could do something like pick another planet, calibrate our processing to it, where we have a better sense of the color, and then reproduce the image of Neptune with that
Hmm.
exact processing and see what the color we
Yeah,
get
yeah,
is.
that's a good idea.
So,
Yeah,
but
that's a good
I
idea.
love that you brought that up. The image change. I'm so fascinated by that. Even Hubble though, like looks bluer than those guys made it, and I
Yeah, but don't
just
forget these images are also sort of made by humans who apply their sort of
mhm,
color algorithms, and they could have for people who were doing it for Hubble, they may have based it on earlier 70s and 80s images, thinking, oh, we've got to make it blue, and so they give it that
yeah,
deliberate blue tinge.
that's a little alarming.
I think it's human nature. Actually,
Yeah,
I do. I really do. You go on past experience, and you don't want to be too different from everybody else. I mean,
I do.
look at the gorgeous
I,
ring systems as well. Oh,
oh yes, the JWST images of Neptune are just
oh, it's gorgeous.
spectacular.
Oh, just gorgeous.
They're
Just gorgeous.
phenomenal. I love the JWST images of all the planets, but like in
Yeah.
particular, for some reason, Neptune and Uranus had me rolling. Uh
Yeah, well,
oh,
especially I love that's pretty cool too. Yeah, that's just phenomenal.
just